Okay, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for coming to Millennials Planning today. Welcome, Justin Rucker. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. I can't complain. It's a really humbling opportunity to be here and have a conversation with you.
Oh, that's very sweet. It's not so much, I'll tell you that much, but but welcome anyway. I'm happy to meet you officially for the first time. We've been flirting a little bit online, but I'm glad to finally meet you. So why don't you give everybody a little introduction?
Okay. Well, I'm
Are you
Justin
there?
Rucker. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Take it away.
Okay. So for those that don't know, I'm Justin Rucker. I'm a lifelong Paterson resident. Running for city council in the great city of Paterson, representing our fourth ward. Can you guys hear me? You kind of going in and out. Uh-oh. I think we Well, I'm just going to continue. I think Bess just jumped off,
I
but
can hear you. Keep
oh,
going. I'm
okay,
going to try to reposition my computer.
okay, all right. Justin Rucker, lifelong resident of the city of Paterson, um, candidate for the fourth ward in the city of Paterson. Um, I have been involved in city politics for quite some time now. A lot of behind the scenes work. I have a nonprofit organization called Save the Village, where we do what we can to make sure that we equip our residents with whatever they may need, whether it be rent assistance, whether it be job placement, um, just trying to be an advocate for the community. Um, I've served my country proudly as a United States serviceman in the United States Army. Um, and I saw a need in my community. And, after a lot of deliberation with my family, I decided to jump in the political arena 4 years ago. So in 2020, I ran for the fourth ward city council seat. And obviously, it was during the pandemic, so we weren't really able to reach as many people as we would have normally done due to the standing stay-at-home orders. But we haven't left the community. We stayed involved. What I've done during the pandemic was make sure that our seniors had hot meals. I partnered with our local Paterson branch of Black Lives Matter with Zelly Thomas. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a dynamic guy, great leader. So we worked together to make sure our seniors had access to masks, hand sanitizers, toiletries, food, and so on. And we did that for quite a while. Once the order was lifted and we could go back outside again, I joined them in their harm reduction team. So I've just stayed in contact with making sure that the community needs are met, and that's really one of the biggest hallmarks of my campaign. Just making sure that the residents have access to vital programs and vital, for lack of a better term, just access to programs and uh, uh, whatever they need as far as anything goes. Just trying to be someone that's accessible and ready to address any issues that may arise. So that's me.
Excellent. That's a great introduction. Thanks. So, tell me a little bit about Paterson. Tell me about that area. I'm not familiar with that area as much. Tell me
Okay.
about Paterson and who lives there, and why do you specifically love it so much? Are you born and raised, or
Paterson is my home. I was born and raised in Paterson. Third largest city in the state of New Jersey, behind Newark and Jersey City. We've got close to maybe 180, I want to say close to 200,000 people in our city. Uh, it's a great town. It's got great bones. It's the silk industry was there. So it's a very very industrial city as far as history goes. There's a great deal of history. The Colt revolver was created there. A lot of rich history as far as um, business goes, as far as athletics goes, as far as people in education goes. Paterson is a very rich and vibrant town that's very diverse and densely populated. Um, Unfortunately, I don't like to be like a negative about it, but unfortunately, it hasn't been led um, properly in later years. So it's really declined. A lot of those businesses left, and really, it's a great city, and I think it has a lot of potential. And I want to work with people to ensure that we make that city, the city of Patterson, great. Because I feel like it definitely can come back. We have the talent, we have the people here. We just need to cultivate that talent and make sure that we put people in right places so that they can do their part to help improve the city as a whole.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that sounds a lot like Trenton, actually, a little bit. I live in Trenton myself, and it definitely was a huge manufacturing town, but you can see all of, how everything's been abandoned and, things are getting torn down now. And yeah, would you say it's a little bit similar or?
It's 100% similar to Trenton. Maybe not as, I mean, even now, so with the State Department of the Attorney General taking over our police department. I think that happened with you guys a while back in Trenton, but it's definitely a similar situation that's going on in Paterson.
Mm.
Maybe not on a not on the same scale, but there's definitely some similarities there.
No, that is horrifying. What
Hmm.
is so? Have you seen any ramifications of that in Paterson recently? Have we seen any have we
Ramifications.
seen any increased police presence? Have we seen any conflicts in Paterson recently?
So in recent years, there have been some situations where the police members of the police department have been brought up on charges. We had a
Mm.
rogue seven, where seven police officers were brought up on charges and convicted of doing some things as far as violating people's civil rights. You
Mm.
had some that were selling drugs. You had some that were putting their hands on people when they shouldn't have. In fact, there was a sergeant that was involved in that was collecting a salary, and the city had created some kind of ordinance to where this gentleman have to pay $207,000 back to the city. So the city was able to recoup his salary um, in lieu of him being brought up on those charges and being convicted. There's also the situation with Jameek Lowry, a young man that was beaten in the back of an ambulance and
Mm.
unfortunately died. And the family is still looking for answers. But a recent report came out from someone that did an autopsy, and they finally have come out and said publicly that no, this wasn't an accident. This wasn't him, going crazy in the ambulance like they had said. This was a homicide.
Oh
So
my! Him in the
eventually there will be
ambulance.
something. Yes, eventually, hopefully, we will have more answers. The family has been going through this for quite some time now, so I think that at some point, accountability will be found for whomever was involved with that situation. Um, with the AG coming into the city of Paterson, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's really welcome because what he's done is he's been cooperating with the community, and he's been seeking input from the community, which is really good. We haven't seen that. Our current police chief really didn't have an opportunity because once he got in, the AG came right behind him and kind of relieved him of his duties. So I don't really
Oh.
blame the current police chief. It's his predecessor,
Mm.
Chief Bakora, who was,
Mm.
for lack of a better term, he was a terrible chief. I think he was just in it because of the financial benefit. You never saw him on the street, and it's unfortunate because he was forced out. Our previous chief, Troy Oswald, who was a great chief, was forced out and then replaced by this guy who was just an empty seat. And
Oh.
right now, what we're seeing is with the state AG being in place, um, the officer in charge that he's appointed is his name is Issa Abbasi, and he's been doing a very good job of maintaining community input. He's also put together a team of individuals from the community who are his liaisons. So they're really his ears and eyes and boots on the ground that keep him abreast of what's going on in the community. And I think he's done a good job with appointing those people. He's also done a few things that I actually like. We have more cops doing a walking beat. And let me preface this by saying that I don't think that we should police everything. I don't think that police are the end all tell all. I think that community has a plays a big role. I'm of the persuasion that if you see something, say something. You're not a snitch, but we know who the perpetrators are. We just choose not to open our mouths. And in order for us to clean up our streets, we got to be vocal.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, um, so I like the walking beat cops. I see them on the streets and they're engaging the public, which has not really been the case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think that the AG being in Paterson is a good thing. I just hope that the trend carries over once they leave. I don't want to see us regress. I want to see us progress and really foster a relationship between community and police that is proactive for both parties. So
Yeah.
let's hope that we're on the right track with that right now.
Well, it sounds good though. That's promising. Yeah, I like the way you put that. And usually when I hear that big head honchos are getting involved in the cops, that's never a good thing. But
It
it
is.
sounds like in this case it is. So that's good.
I think it was very delicate. I think he understood that it was very delicate, because you don't want to come into a city like Paterson and kind of toot your horn. You gotta be methodical with this. You gotta be willing to talk to all invested parties and try to get an understanding of what you're getting yourself into, because Paterson is an unforgiving town. Once you lose the community, you've lost. You might as well just pack it up. So for what it's worth, I have to give credit where it's due, and he's done a considerable job at this current time.
Great. That's awesome to hear.
Hmm.
So tell me a little bit about city council and the position that you're running for and the position it sounds like you've had for a minute. No, or did you run? I'm sorry if I misunderstood that.
I'm a candidate. I didn't win my last election.
Oh, okay. You're a second time candidate.
So I'm a
Got it.
second time
Uh-huh.
candidate. The fourth ward is my home. I've lived in the fourth ward for a very long time. It's plagued with chronic unemployment. Um, our annual income here is around 30,000 roughly.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of issues: drugs, gun violence, um, dirty streets that are unpaved, lack of recreation. And as far as the current leadership goes, um, I respect our current councilwoman a great deal. She's been involved for 40 years. I just think it's time for her to move on.
Mhm.
It's not a thing of disrespect for me. It's more about, listen, I'm a young guy, and it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm a young guy that wants to be involved, that wants to do his due diligence in ensuring that we improve the quality of life of our residents. Um, we want to make sure that we do things that attract local business to come to our corridors, because small business is the lifeblood. Small business is the lifeblood of any thriving economy, right? So
Mhm.
instead of building smoke shops, instead of having liquor stores and so forth open, we need to do something to create a business incubator in the fourth ward so that we can create opportunity for people like our young people in the community to obtain gainful employment. Um, that's where my mind is. Working with the administration and holding the administration accountable to make sure that our streets are paved, um, doing everything in my power to ensure that our children have access to safe space and recreation, not only for our children, but for our seniors too. We have a very, very big senior population here. And unfortunately, a lot of our senior residents feel as though they're prisoners in their homes. They're afraid to come out for fear of, the violence that's going on in our community. And I just want to do my part to make sure that our seniors have a good experience, and understand that they don't have to feel as though they're prisoners in their own homes. So I want to make sure that we create programs for the seniors so that they can get out and they can do things, and enjoy themselves too. I also want to make sure that infrastructure is improved, especially with public transportation for the handicapped, and just a myriad of other things. But those are some of the top things that I want to address once I get in.
Excellent. So that kind of set me up for my next question. What does this city council member specifically concentrate on? What is your jurisdiction, so to speak?
So our purview as city council members are legislators. We're legislators by decree of our current form of government. It's our current government is called the Faulkner Act Plan D. It's a strong council, strong mayor balance in which the city council would approve anything that the mayor wants to put forth, and the mayor can't do anything without our approval. We're more of a checks and balances kind of a body, but our governing body primarily functions as legislators. So, for me and my candidacy, what I hope to do is within my first 100 days is really go over a lot of those laws that are currently on our books that are antiquated, and amending them so that they have teeth in 2024, right? But for the most part, in the city of Paterson, our biggest issue is the lack of enforcement. So what we need to do is we need to work in partnership with the administration to ensure that these laws are enforced. If it's great that we can amend laws, but if there's no enforcement, then it just doesn't work. So right now, what I plan on doing is addressing a lot of those laws that are antiquated, and just meeting with the mayor regularly, and just saying, listen, we need enforcement, code enforcement. We have a lot of fires and stuff that happen in our city, and it's due to the lack of code enforcement, illegal conversions, dilapidated properties that can either be remediated, or by use of eminent domain, maybe knock them down or sell them for the low, so that somebody that wants to become like a property owner, they can come in and they can buy it. Um, as far as another problem that we have in the city of Paterson too is the lack of affordable housing or low income housing. So we want to create an avenue for people that are looking to be homeowners, or looking for adequate home housing, so that they have that. A lot of the developers come into the city of Paterson and they build, and we don't hold them to the fire. We don't demand that they give back to the community, and part of that is they want to. A lot of these developers want 20 and 30-year tax abatements. Um, Me personally, as a council person, I am not really for giving a 30-year tax abatement, especially if you're not giving back to the community. And I don't mean a rinky dink playground. I mean, listen, our kids our kids would like a rec center. I'd like to see a rec center in all 6 wards of Patterson, not just one. For that, and I don't want it to just be all encompassing athletics. I want it to also be somewhere that you could cultivate a child or a student's academics too. We also want to work for job preparedness with our kids, financial literacy. um, there's just a lot of things that we can do to help build up our community, and ensuring that if a developer wants to come in and build a multifamily dwelling in the city of Paterson, well, okay, I'll consider it, but I need 40% of that housing inventory at least to be low income housing to help my community, and I also need you to do something for our kids. And that's how you get skin in the game. That's how you encourage growth in your communities. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. For me anyway, for personally, I don't do this for self. I don't do this for notoriety. I don't do this for a check. I do this because I love my city, and I just couldn't deal with, I couldn't live with myself just leaving my town in the shape that it is. So I'm here trying to make a difference. Everyone talks about being the change that you want to see. Well, here I am.
Can't get a better tagline than that. All right, sounds good. Excellent. Yeah, that sounds amazing, and especially, my best friend has cerebral palsy. He's disabled, and he was trying for years to get on Section 8 housing, and just was on the waiting list forever. And that happens.
Mhm.
People end up dying on that waiting list.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
Even with that, right? Section 8, it's true. They have a long list. At times, some people even die on that list. It's unfortunate. But
Mhm.
what I will say in Paterson, our housing authority has really been, I want to say it's really taken a 360. I served on the housing authority. I actually voted on one of the bigger developments that have come forth in not in my ward, in the third ward. It's called the Riverview Riverside Terrace, uh, aka Fifth Avenue projects. They redid that entire development, and it turned out really nice, and it's really been an asset to the community as a whole. I'd like to see more developments like that um, come forth in our city. Um, but for the most part, um, our director of housing, Irma Gorham, she's done a phenomenal job in ensuring that that our residents have access to very adequate housing. And I just want to see, and I'll work with her board to ensure that that is expanded upon.
Excellent. Yeah, so is there anything, like, how would you define yourself on the scale between like conservative and leftist? We'll put it that way. Like in on globe on a country scale, national.
I'm definitely not a MAGA
Good.
Republican. Absolutely not. I think that the Republican Party has been so radicalized, um, and it's gotten away from whatever values they had before. I wasn't a Republican back then. I'm not a Republican now. Actually, I've been vetted and I've spoken to the Green Party and I'm considering turning green. But historically, I have been more Democrat, but I do not toe the party line per se, because I do believe that there needs to be balance. I think the two party system is antiquated. I think that the Green Party needs to be solidified. I think it needs to grow more. I think that a lot of people are following the trend of joining the Green Party because they see that the duopoly needs to go. Um, and that's where my views have started to shift more toward that green. I think that healthcare is a necessity for everyone. I think that it's important for everyone to have access to healthcare. Reproductive health, a woman's right to choose is very important to me. I have four daughters, so I would like for my oldest being 16, and my youngest she'll be 2 next month. So I believe that in their lifetime, they should have the right to choose whatever they want to do with their bodies. That's just the way I see it. I think that when it comes to medications and big pharma and big business, I think that it's just despicable how we could raise the price of insulin, something vital for someone to live. We can raise the price of insulin so it becomes more profitable. I don't think that's right. Um, I think that our healthcare system needs to be overhauled. I think everyone should have access. It shouldn't be a matter of you have a qualifying condition or you don't have a pre-existing condition or you do have a pre-existing condition. It shouldn't matter. If you're sick, you should have access to get medications that will make you well. As far as big business being involved in politics, I think that it's a travesty that I could go to a big business and say, "Hey, look, I'll do whatever you tell me. Just fund my candidacy, fund my campaign." I think that's ridiculous. I think that politics. I think any politician should really have the interests of the people at heart, and not big business. Um, and that's really why I'm running for my local office. I don't have any interest in serving uh, the needs of big business. I'm here because I want to work for the people, and I think that that's important. I think that's vital for anybody that wants to seek a role in any political office. Putting the people first. I'm a firm believer that if you take care of the people will take care of you. And I'm starting to see that more and more as I knock on doors, as I introduce myself to people, um, slowly but surely. Even yesterday, I was in a 15th floor building yesterday, and people knew who I was when I knocked on the door. I didn't even get a chance to introduce myself. They said, "We know who you are, Justin," and I was shocked. So it just goes to say, if you treat your people right, they will treat you right in the end. So that's where my that's my philosophy, and that will remain my philosophy.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important to build community and to keep it together. And it's so important. That's amazing. They sort of knew who you were before
They
you
said
came to the
it was shocking. They sort of knew it. They I'm like, okay. And then I went to another event after that. I had an event, and I went, I'm talking to people, I'm shaking hands, and I saw a group of old ladies, and they were at a table and they're eating, and I'm shaking one lady's hand. She's like, "Hi, Justin, how you doing? I can't wait to vote for you on Tuesday." And I'm like,
Okay.
"Oh, that is so great." And I'm telling you, when you go through, can't I don't know if you've ever run for local office, but there's ups and downs, right? And my high, that was my highest, but my low is like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna pull this off. In the beginning, when you get your signatures, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna get my signatures. I don't know how we're gonna make this happen. There's, but this is the full circle moment. Once you see people and they say, hey, look, man, we're rocking with you. We love what you're talking about. We want to support you, and we got like the one when she said we got you. I it was the most gratifying moment that I could think of, because it was just so awesome that, all right, now I'm starting to see the fruit of my hard work, and not only my hard work but my team, and it's just great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And well deserved from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Justin's asking, what's your social media and how can we find you? I usually
I'm
do that
on.
at the end, but I have a couple more questions.
Okay, so my social media is, I'm on Instagram as Justin R507. And you can find me on Facebook as well at Justin Rucker. And you'll see like all my campaign literature and stuff, because I utilize that. I'm not really on X. I'm on TikTok. Not a lot, but I'm on TikTok also, and that is, hold on, let me pull it up for you guys because I don't know the handle. It's JT5787 on TikTok.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
Hmm.
I'm gonna make you repeat that later.
Okay.
Awesome. But I was loving what you were saying about being interested in the Green Party. I used to be a Dem also, and I only recently came over to the Green Party. Full disclosure, I'm working with Christina Miracle on her campaign,
Christina
and
Khalil.
yes.
I just met her. I just met her.
What do
Um,
you think?
we
The
met
super senator?
Wednesday. We met Wednesday and we spoke at length. We had to speak for about an hour. She is very, very dynamic and very passionate about the work that she wants to do for her congressional district.
Yes,
So she's a firecracker,
she
and she's
certainly is.
straight up. She's straight up. She says, "Listen, I want to cause as much mayhem as possible for the duopoly," and verbatim. That's what she said to me, and
That's right.
I said, "Damn." Excuse my language. I said, "Damn, this is somebody I could get behind."
That's
She's
right.
fired up. She's fired up. And I think she's running for Menendez's seat.
That's right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think she has a real shot. She's aggressive. And one thing about politics, you can't be scared. And she ain't
No,
scared. She ain't
no, she's
scared.
not.
She's not scared at all. The look in her eyes was just so fierce. You could see the fire.
Yes,
And I'm like, okay, that's somebody that I can get behind because
absolutely.
I ain't scared. And I don't roll with people that's scared either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of being scared. I'm tired of
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm tired. That's why I left the Dems. Dem exit. Like, I I can't be pussyfooting around genocide. I can't be pussyfooting around, genocide over there and genocide here too. Really,
Right.
with our poor. I mean, I'm done. I've seen it all, and I'm done. I thank you for saying that about Christina. I absolutely agree, and that's what drew me to her. Actually, I had her on my podcast, and she like we talked for like 2 hours, and I was like, "Can I work with you?" So I mean, she's just so passionate. She's amazing at drawing people in, and she has that like "f fuck you" energy. Like we
Right.
need that so bad. On the progressive side, but we're just like anybody who we thought may have had that energy has just flipped, has just
Right.
gone either
Right.
been bought out by one side or another. To be
Right.
honest,
No, and I
so
don't even get that vibe from her. I don't.
no,
What I see from Miss Khalil is her willingness to really be an advocate for change, and
yes,
that's the most. And it's pure. It's not something that is uh overly. Is it ain't fake. She'll tell you she doesn't have to do this. It's not for
right,
money. It's not for personal gain. It's because she has a genuine love for her community, for everyone around her. And with that, she got me because our views align. I'm not doing this for a dime. I'm not doing this because I want to be known. I already have name recognition. My
mm-hmm,
family's been involved for over 40 years. You
mm-hmm,
know, so I don't need a name for myself. I'm doing this because I love the residents of the fourth ward. I love the city of Paterson. When
mm-hmm.
I was in the military, I had the opportunity to move to Alabama and stay there. I bought my behind home because I love, well, my family's here, you know, and I love this city, and I want to be part of the change, the tide of change that helps improve the way that our city looks and the way that our city is viewed abroad. Because let's face it, a lot of times when people say I'm going to Patterson, a lot of people put their red flags up. Oh, Patterson, whoa, whoa. And I promise you, Bess, Patterson is not as bad as people make it seem. It's just poorly ran. We have leaders in place that aren't truly leaders. We have leaders in place that are just working to get for themselves and screw everybody else. Once we change those people and get people that really give a damn about the community and really want to see Patterson come up, you'll start to see drastic change in how our city is ran and how our city is viewed by people that may not be from here.
Mm, absolutely. Well said. And it's, there are a lot of places I feel like in Jersey that you're not supposed to go, right?
Right.
Patterson, Camden, Trenton,
Hmm.
right? These are areas that in essence, uh the manufacturing, like you're right, the manufacturing from that era, the 50s to 70s, I guess,
The
has just left.
submarine was built. The sub one of the John P. Holland did the submarine here. The Colt revolver was here. The entire silk industry
Wow,
at one point was totally dominated by the city of Paterson. When we
that's
talk,
true.
Paterson was the first industrial city in our country, and it was really a hub for big business. When Paterson when Paterson came to be. Um, Unfortunately, times have changed. Businesses go, people die. You know, stuff happens, um,
Hmm.
and jobs have left. Businesses have left, and that create a really big gap in, employment for people, historically. So it happens. But what we wanted, but in order for us to attract big business to come to Paterson, so that we can create these jobs for the people that live here, we got to clean the city up.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have people outside homeless. We can't have people shooting up drugs on the steps of our library anymore. We can't have we can't have stuff like that. We have to clean the city up. If you clean the city, and like we missed out on Amazon. Amazon could have been here a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest, Bezos is not going to put a branch of Amazon in Paterson when he's for fear of people sitting on his property shooting up or gun violence. We have to clean the city up. So it takes a multifaceted approach,
Yeah.
with regards to community and policing. See something, say something. Police can't continue to harass people. And that's how you start the process of cleaning up our city. We got to take initiative, even when it comes to cleanliness. Yeah, we could have DPW or the garbage people come and pick up the trash, but you know what? We got to stop Billy and so forth from throwing trash everywhere. Be
Mhm.
have a little pride in your city. Clean up after yourself. Pick up the trash. Clean up in front of your houses.
Yeah.
Make sure that your trash is out when it's supposed to be. And the city
Yeah.
has to enforce laws.
Right. Absolutely. Like that sort of uh feeling of neglect can translate, right? It's
Right.
sort of, yeah, like the employers leave, and then neglect sets in from
Hmm.
authorities, and then neglect sets in down to people, on the street. Absolutely. And they stop caring when people throw garbage on the street. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you
Exactly.
mentioned it that way. Yeah. And it's too bad, because we are the community, and we are the ones that have to take care of ourselves, essentially, eventually. And it's time. You're absolutely right. It's time for us to start building community with each other, and to start encouraging each other to do what's right for the community.
A
That's
hundred
so
percent.
important. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
So, yeah, this has been great. Did you want to say anything? Is there a topic that we should be touching on before we wrap up?
Um, at the top of my head, Patterson has such a low voter turnout. I just want to encourage everybody to just stay on task and understand the importance of voting. Even if you don't support me, vote for somebody. Vote. Because you cannot expect the changes that you want to see to come to fruition if you don't go out and take part in the political process. So please vote, vote, vote. Um, Regardless if it's me, I have two other people that are running against me. If you support if you like what they're saying and they align with your personal views, vote. I don't know how many people from Patterson is going to see this, but vote. In addition to that, um, this has been one of the more humbling experiences that I could in my life. Really, is really humbling to even be here speaking with you. 4 years ago, this wasn't happening. I got lambasted for even considering running, and I
Oh,
even yeah, I got lambasted for even filing my petitions to run. So it's just really humbling to see the difference and to see people really see that the person, not the politician, the person. Because that's all I ever wanted to do. I set out to do this to help my community, and God willing, on Tuesday, it will my efforts will resonate with the people, and we will be victorious. Um, but I thank you for this opportunity, Best, because these opportunities don't come by often where you can have a platform to really talk and answer questions. And yeah, thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on, and you've had amazing things to say. I definitely welcome you back whenever you have a chance. Um,
Absolutely, I will definitely come
yeah,
back.
that would be great. I would love that. So Justin is asking, is there a way to donate to your campaign?
I do have a QR code that's linked to my campaign account. I think I can send it to you if I
Yeah,
don't know if I can post it in the thing.
uh,
Let me see.
send it to me on email, and then I'll see if I can share my screen. Oh my gosh, I've never done that before.
Oh.
Or you can put it on your phone and hold it up to the camera and hope for the best. We can try
You can
that
do that
first.
too.
I am terrible at this. I really need to take a class, like StreamYards for old people. While you're looking, I'm going to take an opportunity to say that it's amazing to meet you because there are so many young people, millennials and Gen Z, it's coming out. We're sick of the duopoly. We're sick of seeing a replay of grandpa versus grandpa. And it has brought so many people out to organize on a local level, on a state level, and it's amazing to see there are so many people who are just getting into it this cycle, myself included. I'm loving the changes that I'm seeing, with the Green Party, and everybody there is so passionate and so kind. And I just got to shout out, the younger generations for stepping up and trying to make a difference, because it seems to me like the older generations they haven't given up. They're still trying. It's just that they're stuck in a rut, and they don't know how to get out of it. And I feel like there needs to be some new blood, new ideas on the
You know what it
ground.
is? It's that, but another part of it too is, and maybe it's just happening in Paterson, but I think it's happening everywhere. Mentorship, the lack of
Mentorship.
real mentorship. I was blessed to be in a family that was always like geared toward activism, so I saw it when I was little. And I could remember being like 20, 21, and telling my uncle who's been involved in politics for years, like, hey man, I think I want to run for city council one day. And it was like a light went off in his head, and he looked at me like with a side eye, like, yeah, right. And I said, no, man, I'm serious. And he said, well, if you're serious, I'm gonna start taking you to these places, and I want you to. You don't have to speak if you don't want to, but I really want you to observe what's going on. And what we would do is we would go to these places, and I would observe, and we would talk, and we'd have a back and forth. And last night I saw him, and he said, you know, boy, you're learning. You're kind of like me, but you're not, and that's so good, because you're standing on your own 2 feet. And that was awesome, because it brought me right back to when we had that conversation years ago. And it's because of mentorship. He was willing to take me under his wing. He didn't force it on me, because I guess, to see how serious I was about it. And all through this race, like, he's very demanding. He's a demanding guy, which is great, because I like that. It keeps me honest. But he goes to me last night, and he's like, man, you you're onto something. Your future's pretty bright, nephew. And that meant a lot to me. But I also have the QR code. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, hold on. You're muted, Bess.
I was just miming. I wasn't even muted. Whatever. And so I said we can see it and it looks great. Everybody take a screenshot to go donate.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. um,
Yes. Oh, Christina's endorsing me on X. Great.
yes, absolutely. I saw the tweet last night. She endorsed you officially on X. So
Wonderful.
yes,
I
and
look
I
forward
endorse
to
you
working with her
too.
in the
You want
future.
that?
Hmm.
Absolutely. I'm excited to, continue getting to know you and to continue working with you. And this is great.
Yes, yes.
Mime splaining. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. So, any final thoughts? We kind of had some final thoughts before, but now any final thoughts?
No, just even for people that are on the fence of whether or not you should take the plunge into the political arena. It's about principles. It's about what you believe in. If you think that this is for you, I'm gonna tell you now, you got to have thick skin. Because you're gonna run into some people that aren't gonna have the same views as you, and they're gonna say some things that are gonna make you wanna. But you can't do that. You have to understand that, um, you know, if it's worth getting, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. And
That's right.
it took me a while to really get that thick skin. I don't want to say I don't give a shit attitude. I don't. It's more so geared toward um, the work, the work that you want to do to improve and enrich yourself, but those around you most importantly. Um,
Absolutely.
Sometimes there's going to be decisions that are going to have to be made that everyone might not agree with, but those decisions benefit the community as a whole. So you have to go and you have to make those tough decisions. Um, and when you're challenging an incumbent, I'm challenging a 12-year incumbent. You got to ask the tough questions, and you cannot be afraid to ask them. You have to challenge them on their record. And
Absolutely.
fortunately for me, she's made it very easy because she has no record.
Hmm.
Um, she has no record to stand on. So anyone that's interested, I would suggest reaching out to key members of your community, pick their brains, find out what it is that they're looking for, find out what the issues are, find out what the community wants and what they need, and start there. Start being vocal. Start going to your council meetings. Start going to your board of ed meetings. In Paterson, our board of ed just approved a $800 million budget, but our kids don't have access to adequate laptops or school books. Many teachers are not in my daughter in her last year of elementary school. She's in high school now. Her principal was not only her principal, who was the lead administrator, she was also her English teacher and her math teacher.
Wow.
So there's a great disparity amongst the ranks of certified teachers in the city of Paterson.
Hmm.
But you just approved the $800 million budget, which is heavy in salaries.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the city of Paterson. And what I would suggest to anybody, if they want to get involved, just jump, just do it. Consult with your family first, but take the initiative and speak out about the issues, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because you can do whatever you put your mind to. I'm definitely living proof of that. There are times when I've questioned myself, and then something happens and it's a full circle moment where somebody says something to me and they say, that was really inspiring, or you know what, you were on the money with that. And that's the encouragement, that's the drive to keep going. So keep going, keep going, keep going, and don't let anybody stop you. Put your blinders on and put your big boy pants on, because it's definitely going to be hard. It's not easy, but you can do it.
Yeah.
If I can do it, you can
Absolutely.
do it.
Absolutely. I second that. I second that. There's no easy answer. There's no, you got to roll up your sleeves and you got to show up. You got to show up to the meetings. And, I think that society had been telling us for a long time, oh, you should be looking after yourself and your family. You should be only worrying about making as much money as you possibly can in your lifetime and all that nonsense. But at the end of the day, you can't take it with you, and
Right,
you build up your community around you. So if
right,
you can't move and you can't go to one of these schmancy gated communities that are being built,
right.
absolutely, then you have to make heaven where you are. You have to make heaven where you are.
And
So
also, we have to understand something. We're here now, but our kids got to inherit this.
that's right.
you know so
Yeah.
why not try to make it the best place that we possibly can while we're here, so that when our kids are in our spots, they have something a little better, you know to work with. Because right now we working with what we got now, but if we could put our heads together and improve our condition as a community, then we've left something for our youth to inherit that's a lot better than what it was before.
Absolutely. Well said. Absolutely. You know, and this is how we build community. We do it by getting to know people and getting to know their needs. This is not it's not like a podcaster going on their show and yelling, "Join us. Here's my ideas. Everyone follow fucking suit." No,
No,
that's not how you build community. You build community through actually helping people. You build community through getting to know people. Absolutely.
and
In
having
combination.
dialogue, because
Dialogue.
let's be honest, I might not agree with everything that you're saying, and you might not agree with everything that I'm saying, but if
Right.
we find the common ground, we'll be able to really bust some heads and make some change in our communities. And that's what it's about, having a really in-depth conversation about the issues, about whatever it is, just having a
Right.
conversation that could change so much. And just
Right.
being open, having an open mind, because closed-minded is not going to get us. Being closed-minded is not going to get us anywhere. But
No.
it's just about having those conversations. Hey, look, have a cup of coffee with me. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
A lot of stuff has
Absolutely.
been done just by
Yeah.
over a cup of coffee.
Yeah, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Unfortunately, we have to reconstruct it because it's been falling apart.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
We
That's
just
great.
need a tire rotation. The wheel might be flat. We just need a tire rotation.
There you go.
Fill
That's a
the
good way
tire
to
up with
put it.
some air,
Very
patch
much like
patch it up, and let's keep kicking that thing down the road. The but it's about dialogue. It's about making sure that our minds are open. It's about being open to different ideas and perspectives. That's really important. But
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Uh, Say one more time all of your socials. Sorry about that. But yeah, one more time so everyone can follow you. And
Okay.
your election is on Tuesday. So if you're in New Jersey, if you know somebody in Paterson, New Jersey, call them and tell them to vote.
So I'm Justin Rucker on Facebook. Once you see my page, you'll see my campaign literature. You can just add me. I will add you back. If you're a Pattersonian that lives in the fourth ward, or you don't live in the fourth ward, if you have any issues or concerns, you can always inbox me. My phone, I'll give you my phone number too, if you need to on inbox. On IG, I am Justin R507. And on TikTok, I am, let me see. I should just make all the same. On TikTok, I am JT5787.
Okay, great. Excellent. Well, thank you so much again for joining me. I wish you the best of luck on Tuesday. We're all rooting for you, and anything that we can do to help out, we're going to do it, including sharing clips of this interview. I super hope because we want to get your message out there. So, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
All
You
right.
have a great day.
You too.